Dr. Pam Montgomery-Fitz is a holistic vet, and she's going to tell us what are some of the ingredients in the products we see on the shelf, and what are some healthy alternatives. So, doctor, this is where I keep the pet food.
Okay, well, let me look in here and see what I can find.
Okay.
All right, so this is a premium brand, and I bet you spent a lot of money on this.
I did.
I want to know, what is it about this particular bag that made you want to buy it?
It seems silly, but I looked at the package and there's this very cute, active little cat, and then there were all of these vegetables and grains and fish, so it also said natural on it, so I thought that would be good.
You know, a lot of people do that. They look at the marketing, they look at the bags, and it's really quite seductive. But we have to learn how to look beyond the marketing. So what I'm going to teach you is how to read a label, and looking in the label, determining what quality of food you're actually feeding your pets. When we look at this particular label, if you would look at it for me and tell me what the first ingredient is.
Well, it says corn.
Okay, so actually the very first ingredient is corn gluten meal. You've got to understand the very first ingredient on the ingredient list is what exists in most of the food. So it's the most predominant ingredient of the entire ingredient list. And it goes in order, decreasing order like that. So this is corn gluten meal. It's not even a whole grain. It is an actual processed grain. Things to know about kitty cats, because this is Merlin's food, is that you do not want to feed corn or wheat or any grains for that matter, because cats are carnivores. They're obligate carnivores. That means they're meat eaters. They don't take in grains, not out in the wild, and it can make them sick.
The next ingredient says chicken, but that's good for cats.
Chicken is good for cats, but this doesn't say chicken, it says chicken meal. That's very, very different than chicken. So chicken actually has meat when the word chicken is listed. When it's chicken meal, that covers a whole variety of things basically created in rendering plants. And that's where they take all kinds of animals that are not fit for human consumption by law. Okay, so they have things in there like the diseased, disabled, dying, and dead. That's the 4 Ds. Okay.
Are there any dry foods that are good for pets?
You know, not in my opinion. It's a matter of convenience. A lot of people have gone to dry food for convenience sake, and the truth of the matter is that we've sacrificed the health of our pets for it.
Nutrition is the basis for all health. This is true for animals and people. Give your pets the proper food so they can live long and healthy lives. I just feel terrible about the food that I'm giving Merlin, and I can't imagine that the food I'm giving my dog Emma is any better.
Well, you know, the principles that you're learning right here with Merlin's food apply to dogs as well. So if you look at this as a new beginning, from here we can learn and take your level of health for both Emma and Merlin to the next level.
Well, I'm ready to get rid of this stuff and start fresh.
Well, here you go. Let's throw it away together and let's get the samples from the car.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Roni, I'm ready for you. Well, what do you think?
This is amazing. It's like having a pet store in my house.
It really is, but it's a healthy pet store. This particular diet is called a Nova Evo, in which they remove all the grains. The problem is just what I said before. When you're dealing in dry foods, you really either have to have meals or you have grains. So the next step up from the dry food would be the canned foods, and I happen to recommend several of these that are on the table. One of the ones that I recommend is the Wellness diet, okay? Wellness has some really good canned foods, you know, that you still need to read the label. So looking at it, what do you see?
It says chicken broth is the first one, chicken, ocean fish, chicken liver. Ooh, the next one is ground barley.
Okay, so
what about the grains?
We can use some grains in dog food specifically, not in cat food, but in dog foods. But the grains that you use need to be whole grains.
But there's stuff that's even more advanced than that that's better.
Yes, you are correct. And my favorite, of course, is the raw food diet. These particular products, the Farmore diet, the Bravo diet, the Nature's Variety diet, and the Wild Kitty are a few of the raw food diets that I use.
It seems like a lot of the rules that you apply to pet food are the same rules that we apply
Yes.
to our own health and wellness.
Yes, including the kitchen etiquette. So when you're using raw food diets, You want to make sure you clean well. So if I'm going to feed something that's a raw meat, I thaw things in the refrigerator. I don't do it on the counter. And if I have something on a plate, I clean that plate. When the dog or kitty finishes the food, then I clean the bowl with hot soapy water, and every time I run the dishwasher, my kitty's bowl goes into the dishwasher. It is a commitment. This type of feeding is expensive, okay? Even upping the level of your processed food is more expensive, but it's so worth it.
I guess if you feed them good from the foundation, later on they're not going to have some of those health problems that would cost that money anyway.
Absolutely. What we like to say is you pay now or you pay later. The most important thing is that the nutrition is the foundation of health.
Thank you for coming by and teaching me a great way that I can get my dog healthier, which in turn will make me happier.
You are so welcome.